Now bring in our Mike Klis. Mike, you talked to Shelby Harris today, who's actually from Milwaukee, and it was an eye-opening conversation that you had with him.
Yeah, Milwaukee, 40 miles away from Kenosha. Melvin Gordon from Kenosha. Yeah, the more Shelby talked, and he did want to talk about it. He wanted to get his emotions off his chest. He just had so many emotions. It started with frustration. He's tired of talking about this, that this continues to happen. He said that it wasn't a boycott, it was a protest, the Broncos not showing up at practice today. I think the Broncos just wanted to send a message together, unified, that they're not just entertainers. That's one thing that's been going around, and the Broncos echo that sentiment. But they really want to take action. It's one thing not to have practice. It's another thing to talk about it. They really want to talk action. And in June they did. They had the peaceful protest that was organized by Kareem Jackson after the George Floyd killing. So we'll see what they come up with. But a real day of reflection for the Broncos. And now they really want to see some policy reform.
All right, a big day in Broncos country. Thank you, Mike. We'll have much more with your conversation with Shelby coming up tonight at 9 and 10.